Hello, I'm Angela.
And I'm Marie, the second half of this mother and daughter team.
Welcome to Chakra Checkups.
We're here to guide you on your quest for spiritual knowledge and enlightenment.
Welcome back.
It's us again.
Probably tired of listening to us by now, but here we are for another episode.
An interesting thing I've noticed when I do follow-up calls with people that have had readings, I would say close to 80% of the people, one of their biggest questions, and sometimes their only question, is how to talk to their angels. They say they have difficulty communicating. They don't know how. They're not sure that they're there. This seems to be something that is a real problem for people that grasp this concept and to relate to or communicate with or connect to their angels and their guides. Surprisingly, the other 20%, there doesn't seem to be many people that land in the middle. The other 20% of the people say, oh, yeah, I've always talked to my angels. We talk all the time. You know, it's a great resource for me. And they have no problem connecting.
Yeah.
Even sometimes they say, I knew you were going to tell me my great grandfather was part of my angel team because I've had a picture of him on my wall for years.
I guess I would fall somewhere in the middle where I'm like, at least I know that they're there, but I can't quite tell when they're listening.
Well, this might be a shocker. They're always listening.
But I thought you said in one of the other episodes that if you don't communicate with them regularly, then you can't expect them to be around all the time.
Well, they're not going to just hang there if you're refusing to communicate. That's true. That's true. But if you're trying to communicate at all, they're always listening.
Okay.
And they're also always following your life path. You know, your angels have been with you forever. And that you want to tune in and they respond to that. They have your whole story.
Mm-hmm.
They have your whole background, everything available to them. So they know everything. There's nothing you're going to tell them is going to be news to them.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to tell them, I didn't meditate because I was late because the car broke down. They already know all that stuff.
I didn't meditate because I would have rather gone to the bar that night, and I'm sorry.
Even if that happened, they already know that, and it's okay. The thing is, people don't understand, I think, even the nature of angels. First of all, your angels aren't dead people that went up and are hanging around now watching out for you. There are such things as what I call ancestral angels. And this is when you do have a relative, usually several generations older, that will kind of team up with an angel because that person had a deep desire to look after the family after they died. But they're technically not an angel. They're teaming up with an angel.
Okay.
And that's pretty rare. Most people don't have those. The other angels, they've never been in a body. They've never been on the planet Earth, really. They're always in the astral. They're always in another dimensional realm.
Okay. So they're more just like an angelic spiritual being and guide watching over us.
Yes. A way to think of it would be like little pieces of God, little pieces of spirit that are assigned to you.
Okay.
I mean, it's you can't expect the persona of God to show up and individually talk to 8 billion people. So you've got these individualized, conscious pieces of spirit that will deal with you.
Mm-hmm.
And the more attention you need, of course, then they're more available. There are people that are teaching great numbers of other people, and they're doing a lot of different activity, and sometimes they'll have more angels.
Mm-hmm. You mean like because they're practicing healing or things like that where they want to help others more?
Yes, or they're trying to access lots of information about lots of people that they're trying to help, and uh, doing prayer for great groups of people or things of that nature.
Okay.
You know, ministers with a huge amount of people, or like the Dalai Lama or somebody like that.
Uh-huh.
That has a huge spiritual group around them. Then they will attract more angels, kind of a management team for
Okay.
everything coming and going that they have to work with. So those people will have more angelic presence available to them because they have questions and things they have to deal with and things of that nature.
Okay.
But most people have 1 to 3 angels. Most people have 2, but some people only have 1. Some people have 3, 4. Some people have 10. But basically, the average is probably 2 angels per person.
Uh-huh.
And their angels know what you're thinking. They are telepathic. You can talk to them verbally. You can talk to them in your mind. You can write to them. It wouldn't matter, really.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think texting will work really well, but
Well,
they're
if they're
basic.
telepathic, I feel like texting would work just as well as any other form.
Well, it might, but I don't think they have it. It's not going to come through as a text or come back as a text.
What about email? Does email work?
I doubt it. Not if you want a response by email. But I suppose if it helped you focus, it would be okay, actually, because, like I said, they're telepathic. So if you're thinking about them,
Yeah.
you're thinking you want to get this communication to your angel, and you feel like writing an email is the only way to do it, go for it, because they're still going to get it.
Yeah.
They're still going to get it. So it's not that hard. I don't know exactly what the resistance is. I think there's some fear that people think they don't maybe want their angel to know they're misbehaving, or that they're irreverent or something of that nature. But you
Well, I
can
know
get
a few of my friends had more fear that they didn't have an angel.
everyone has an angel. Everyone has an angel available to them.
So it's more about just starting to talk to them than if they're there or not. They're there.
They're there. They're always there. I have seen a few times where people have actually put a barrier, it show up in their chakra reading, between them and their angel. The angel's still there, but the person has put, like, I don't want to deal with this angel. So they've kind of put like a wall between them and their angel.
Can you fire an angel and get another one in line?
I don't know why you would want to get the same response.
I don't know. Maybe you have a sarcastic angel and you guys don't agree on the sense of humor.
No, I don't think so. I think that this is just something where people, I think when that happens, people get sort of angry at God or angry at spirit, and just, I'm not going to even try, or you didn't help me or something like that. And so then they're just not going to try anymore.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense.
But the angel's still there. That's one thing I noticed in the reading. Well, the angel's still there, still present, but has been shut off from, the person has shut himself off or herself off from that availability.
Let's say something like that happened. Like you were praying a lot to your angels to help save a family member dying, or a business deal to go through that didn't, and you put up a barrier. That doesn't really stop your angel afterwards from helping you for anything else, so does it?
No, it's something that the person has done in their mind, but it doesn't keep the angel from being there and still protecting you, still being with you when you're on the astral, still guarding you when you're sleeping, things like that.
Mm-hmm.
You can't actually fire one.
Yeah. So
It's
I guess when people get mad at stuff like that, I guess angels are like little miracle workers in some ways, but when things go wrong, it really has more to do with your chakra system than like having angels step in for miracles anyways, doesn't it?
well, I think what you're talking about is an angelic being. They don't really do a lot on the physical plane.
Uh-huh.
They are not going to make your business deal go through.
Okay.
They're not going to buy you a new Mercedes Benz. They're not going to have you win the lottery ticket. They're not going to make your football game go your way. Things of that nature. They don't do that. They can't interfere with somebody's will. If they made the game go your way, they'd be interfering with the will of the other people.
Uh-huh.
They don't do things like that. Angels have to do with the spiritual realm, with protection, with knowledge, with enlightenment, things of that nature, but not so much with the physical world. So if you're praying for a trip to France, you're going to be praying for a long time, and the angels will hear you, but they're not going to send you to France.
Right.
They might help you to meet somebody that wants to go to France. But
so how is that different from like having a clear solar plexus where you can manifest a lot of these things and make stuff like that happen?
well, if you're trying to get your angel to do something for you that you think you can't do, that's stepping outside of your system for some intervention. Whereas when you're manifesting from your solar plexus, you're using your system to manifest those things that you want in the usual way you would manifest something. Plan it, see it, talk about it, take steps to make it happen, bring it to fruition.
Mm-hmm.
Those are all things that you have to empower with your mind and with your energy.
Okay.
The other way, you're just asking an angel just to make it happen.
Uh-huh.
And sometimes there's a little gray area there, and it can have a little bit of both. But basically, in the physical world, you have to take hold of the reins and manifest what you want to manifest.
Okay.
The reason I'm saying there's a gray area is that I know at least a few times in my life, like I said, I had that time when I manifested $2 bills and they fell from the sky.
Right. Those are exactly some of the things that I was thinking of.
Well, on one level, I'm trying to manifest it, and it did manifest. But I don't know exactly how those dollar bills got up in the sky.
Well, what about when you went outside and you're like, I need appointments and I need them now, and then you had like people calling in like appointments?
Well, again, on one level, I am manifesting. I'm seeing it, saying it. This should happen.
Yeah.
And then 6 people called. So it's kind of a little bit of a gray area.
Okay.
But I think that if you're not doing anything and you want your angel to just do something for you, if you're just eating Cheetos and watching television, and then you want to start a business, they're not going to knock on the door and say, here's your business.
Yeah.
So there is a little bit of magic there, and there is a little bit of sometimes a little gray area, but it doesn't happen very often. It's not like that has happened to me every day of my life. That's for darn sure.
Right. So generally they just don't mess with other people's free will.
No, not really. So you can't count on that. When that happens, that's a rare thing, a very rare thing. So when you're talking to them and you're asking them for something, you should be asking them, or not should be, ideally, what you're going to get response to is, what about my healing? Or how do I heal myself? What do I need to know to heal myself? What things might I be able to do to heal myself?
Uh-huh.
What kind of activities would be good for me? That kind of information. What kind of spiritual work should I do? that kind of thing. Can you protect me? I'm having difficulty. I have dangerous people want to hurt me. Can you guard me or protect me from these dangerous people? Angels are very good with energy lines. So you could be saying to your angel, so you could say you had somebody was, I don't know, stalking you. You could say, please put a protection line around me so that this person is no longer interested in me and will go away and cannot come near me and cannot hurt me. Or please put a line around me and my car so that we won't get into any accidents and no other cars will hit our car. They're very good for things like that. Please, put a line around me so I don't attract people that are really bad for me in relationships, and I only attract people that are really good for me. You might find you're meeting less people then, but that's
maybe wouldn't be the worst thing that happened, but
instead of meeting 15 people, you're meeting only one person a month, but then maybe a lot better.
Hey, weeds out the backwash though.
Exactly. They're very good for things like that. They can help with things like that. They're good at keeping you safe. They're good at helping you, protect you, divide energy from bad energy, good energy, keep that away, help you to navigate so that you're safe and, can be calm and serene. Help to keep you safe on the astral. Well, they do that anyway, but if you think that you might be having any kind of bad dreams or dangerous encounters or anything like that, then for sure you talk to your angels and say, I've been having this bad dream and I want that to stop. So please move any of that bad energy away from me and protect me from that happening. I don't want that to happen anymore. At the same time, if you want to remember your past lives, you can say, I now really, really want to remember my past lives. So when I go to sleep, I want you to help me remember them. Or when I'm meditating, I want you to help me remember them.
So I guess this is where I go, like, they're not listening to me of, asking my angels before going to bed, be like, please help keep me conscious if I start to lucid dream, or asking for things like, past lives and meditations, and then not having anything happen.
Well, I don't know if they can keep you conscious. They can help you remember. You've got to watch what you say. You've got to be careful about being specific. They can't force you to be conscious when you're wanting to be unconscious. But they can help you to remember, or, help you to be more conscious on the astral and help you to carry that back. They have a lot of power when you're on the astral. You can sit and have a whole conversation with them. I've done that. But they can't force you to be conscious or stay conscious when you're not wanting to.
Okay.
So,
but if you're asking for it, then why would you not be wanting to?
Well, that's always a good question.
Okay.
I mean, there are lots and lots of people that say they want to be enlightened, but they're not enlightened. And it's not like it's not available to anybody. When I wanted to remember my past lives in the first year, I remembered about 22. And I just kept saying, okay, tonight when I go to sleep, if it's available to me, I want to remember this past life. That's what I would do. And then let it go. So,
so you would just talk to them as simple as that, like before you go to bed, just like a one sentence line before closing your eyes.
Yeah, you don't have to make a whole, big protracted thing. I really want to pass life because blah, 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 blah. And I've been a good person and I didn't drink all week. And, you don't have to do anything like that. Just hey, by the way, I really want to remember my past life. So if that's available to me tonight, bring it on.
Okay.
Like that. That's all. Your angel's your friend. They're like your best friend. They know what you've been doing. They know what you're thinking. All you're really looking for is permission. Give them permission. Say, this is what I'd like, and you're giving them permission. I want to remember a past life. If that's available, some things for some reason are not always available at that time. I don't know why.
They just know that you're not ready for that part of healing or something.
I don't know. I mean, that's what you're saying is a real possibility, but I can't actually say I know exactly why that is. Like I said, there are 365 days in a year. I was really concentrating on remembering past lives. 22 days I woke up with memories.
Right.
There's a lot of days I did it. So sometimes persistence is useful.
Yeah.
So I think that I don't think it's like they're trying to make you earn it or anything like that. I just think that not everything is always available for many reasons.
Well, I definitely think like there's divine timing, and that's one lesson might be the exact thing that you need right now, and the other lesson is for 10 years down the line or whatever.
I think, well, like for example, with past lives, sometimes they're very traumatic, and there's a whole chain of stuff involved in remembering certain lives that you may or may not be in the middle of working on, which even could be involved with certain people that you're, living with at that moment. So remembering a particular life in the particular frame of time that you're in could be problematic. But maybe a year later, you break up with a person or something, then now's a good time to figure it out. So there's stuff like that. There can be things like that going on. And it's not always clear, but then later it can become more clear. I don't get upset if I don't get what I want right away, but I don't necessarily give up either. This is the same thing with bringing you to the Divine Hospital. I have been taken to the Divine Hospital on the astral 4 times. I probably asked to be brought there probably maybe 30 times. I was
and
really
the times
glad
that you were brought there, did you ask for those times?
Oh, absolutely. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And the same thing, I would say, I'm really not feeling that great. I would like to resolve some of this stuff. I would want you to bring me to the Divine Hospital and fix what you can fix.
Yeah.
And I might rephrase that in different ways, but I just did that before I went to bed. And then there were 4 times that I was conscious of.
Do you remember the wording of those 4 times that you ended up going?
It was all pretty much the same.
Well, I'm looking for keywords to help the rest of us.
Okay. Okay. I would like you to take me to the Divine Hospital and help me heal my blah, blah, blah.
Okay.
That's basically it.
Okay.
The thing is, you may or may not remember being there. I mean, you could wake up the next morning feeling great and not have a memory of being there.
Right.
But I had 4 times when I actually remembered being there, and I also woke up feeling substantially better than I did before I went to sleep.
So if you want to go to the Divine Hospital, or you want to be on the astral and then retain the memory of being there, then what would you say?
Well, if it's available, please bring me to the Divine Hospital and fix my bum knee. And I would like to remember it if that happens.
Yeah. Okay.
So something like that. It doesn't have to be really complicated.
Yeah. So I'm curious what the people that have the follow-up calls have been asking where the confusion lies.
They just say they don't really understand how to talk to their angels. And I pretty much say the same thing all the time. Talk to them like your friend.
Okay.
You don't have to construct some elaborate language that you don't normally use. You talk to them the way you talk to anybody else. Keep it simple. Try to be specific. don't be vague. Don't say make my life better.
Mm-hmm.
That's not going to be very useful, because I mean, they might. I mean, they might they might have your flowers grow a little bit better, and but you're
Right.
not going to notice that. Or they might have a rat move out of your house, but you're not going to know if you're not being specific. So you can't blame them if you're vague and you don't like the results. But I think that sometimes that if you are very specific, then they'll bring you exactly what you want.
Angel, bring me a man.
Yeah, and then a 90-year-old comes to visit.
Okay. Bring me a man that's blonde hair and blue eyes that is around my age.
Well, but you wouldn't say that. See, again, specific.
Okay.
I want to help me to attract to myself someone that, maybe blonde, blue hair, that is compatible.
Blonde, blue hair.
I mean, blonde, blue. Whatever.
Specifics, mother.
Well, people have blue hair these days.
Well,
blonde, blue
we're
eyes.
not looking for the blue-haired men.
You want specifics. Help me to attract to myself somebody that is compatible, and I would prefer, blondes, blue eyes, whatever. You could do that.
Okay.
Because I think they can do something like, someone sitting there thinking, let's say some guy is sitting there in, I don't know, Texas, thinking, I really like to meet somebody that into scuba diving and art, and they suddenly get this idea in their head that they should go to Todos Santos and book a diving boat,
Yeah. Okay.
So that could happen. But you have to be a little bit specific. If it's not really exacting what you're asking for, then nothing's going to happen.
Okay.
They are listening to you, and they're just probably saying, I don't know what we're going to do with that.
So I guess it's, for me, asking for things like help me attract, or like that would be different wordage than I would talk to you as a friend.
Well, yeah, I guess you wouldn't ask your friend to help you attract somebody.
Well, I don't mean it in that way, but I think, well, with like the thoughts of them being telepathic, shouldn't they also have an understanding of like what we think or mean when we are more vague? If you have an idea of that in your mind, but you're not necessarily saying the specifics.
No, yes and no. No, being too vague is not good. Vague, if you're looking at somebody that cannot affect your will or tell you what to do or suggest anything, then you can't say, I need transportation, and then they're gonna, what are they supposed to do? Does that mean a car? Does that mean a bus? Does that mean a bicycle? We think she should have what? You see what I mean? You can't be vague. You need to be.
But if you're thinking, I need a form of transportation, but in your mind you're picturing a car,
well, then that might be okay.
Okay.
Like I think I talked about in that one podcast, that crazy woman who just said, I have no money, I have, no food, I have no gas in my car, and I'm going to from Ashton to Eugene, and everything's going to be okay. My angels will take care of me. And she did, and it worked. Annoyed a lot of people along the way, but she got there, she got back and everything. But it's better. You can have better results, and especially with your spiritual stuff, which is what really where angels are very good. It's like, for me, like I want to do healing. I want it to be more effective. I want people to be able to feel it.
Uh-huh.
When I started to tell them, I want to make sure that if I'm working on somebody here in Bandon, in Oregon, and they're in Singapore, that they can feel it in less than a minute.
Uh-huh.
And now they can.
Yeah.
So that's something that the angels, I asked the angels to help to make sure that that works. And about 98% of the time, people can, when I'm working on their avatar, they can feel it. That's because I asked the angels to make sure that happens.
Me being the other 2%.
Oh, I didn't say that.
Okay.
But so they're good at things like that, or help me to figure out what is my best mode of healing,
Mm-hmm.
or help me to figure out the best way to open up my third eye.
Mm-hmm.
Should I be meditating? Should I be doing free movement dancing? Should I be doing yoga?
So
Like
how
that.
can you expect like an answer from them when you're saying these things? Is like, help me understand the best way to open up my third eye. What might you get as a response?
Well, for me personally, I mean, what I found in this last year is that it kept just coming to me, do more toning, do more toning. And I've gotten very much into toning, and I'm finding I'm learning a tremendous amount of things about opening up your chakras through toning. The angels are showing me. The angels join me um, and help me tone.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm learning a lot about clairaudience and the way that color, sound, and light all blend.
Mm-hmm.
And I did 45 minutes of toning last night, and they were showing me how, wait, like, okay, now when you move this sound this way, now look, it all goes purple. And I'd see my whole crown chakra go purple. And then, okay, now you move the sound this way, and it all goes white.
Hmm.
And this is something that I'm doing with the angels, that they've been working with me very, very closely in this whole thing of, for me to understand how sound and color and light are very connected in our spirituality and our empowerment, particularly with enlightenment and with healing.
Mm-hmm. I definitely want to jump into that more next week.
We can do that. So, but I'm talking to them all the time. So what does this mean? So, what is that? And I am a person that spends a tremendous amount of time talking to my angels.
Mm-hmm.
What does this mean? Why is this way? And of course, they don't answer the question I have.
Because you have a lot of questions.
They're probably taking coffee breaks. But that they do answer some of your questions, and they do show you things.
Okay.
And angels answer me in pictures a lot, quite a bit. Pictures, fast frame, like I see pictures with some audible and also some telepathic.
Yeah.
So kind of I get a storyline about some things. That happens a lot when I'm doing a reading for somebody. They show me some things in pictures and with sound and light. Sometimes they've just talked to me. Sometimes they're just 2-word messages and then a show of energy.
Mm-hmm.
One thing I have never had that some people say, my angel told me this and talked about going to New York, and we, I have never had of that kind of a conversive, long, protracted conversation.
Okay.
And I've never come across an angel personally that has been that way. They tend to be, when they're verbal, tend to be kind of short, couple words, a sentence maybe, and more telepathic and pictorial or sound or something like that.
Okay.
So it could be that sometimes when people think they're not getting an answer from their angels, is that they're just not paying close attention.
Like in what way?
Like they go on with a long conversation about what they want, and they're expecting a long conversation back.
Okay.
Like, I really want a Mercedes Benz. I'd like it to be yellow. Would like the top to come down. A sound system would be great. It'd be good if it got here before summertime. No, and they forget, and they don't hear the no. They just keep going, and they think they haven't had a response.
I mean, what does it sound like if an angel does speak to you?
It can vary. When they're telepathic, it's just a very, very clear voice.
Okay. But not like a reflection of your own voice, but like somebody else's voice?
No, it's just like a very, very clear voice, like you could not mistake. Clear as a bell, easy to hear.
Okay.
Like when the angel told me to move over on the road so I didn't get hit head on. It's like, move as quickly as you can to the far right of the road. Boom, just clear.
Mm-hmm.
Like voice like that, just clear as can be. When they physically incorporate and they're either in your body or in someone's body near you, it's a booming, vibrating sound that starts in your heart and moves from inside you out.
Okay.
So sometimes when you have an angelic presence with you and they're channeling with you, and I've had this sometimes when they're toning with me, it's a booming sound that seems like it's coming from inside you and it's going woo, 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 out from your heart chakra.
Okay.
And it kind of shakes everything in your whole body at the same time. It's kind of hard to miss. If you have that experience, you won't ever forget it, and you'll know absolutely that you were in the presence of an angelic being. At other times, when I had that experience in Brazil, when I had been, and that's a good example, I had been sitting meditating, and I had been meditating for a couple hours, and then I was just sitting after the meditation thinking, I just really, really would like to know what the purpose of me being here is. And that's when an angel actually came and said, okay, let's take you to a memory and we'll go over it.
Okay.
And that's what brought about the whole thing of me learning about the soul retrieval, and them explaining that whole thing about me helping people that had died in Germany during the war with Hitler.
Uh-huh.
And in that case, the angel that brought me to a memory, and the memory was me sitting down with 3 angels on this little white table and discussing this whole thing. So there can be times when you can have, regular conversations, like they're just like regular people, except at the time that they're not, but that you're just, you're just talking.
Okay.
But it's serious. You're talking in a serious manner. There's no, messing around or anything like that. And it's very clear. And they don't have wings or anything like that, but you know that they're angels. You just feel it when you're with them. You feel that you're with somebody that's very, very important. These are your guides. These are your angelic beings. And they're very, very much there for you.
Mm-hmm.
And again, how I got there with them is I was just, I really, really, really want to know.
Yeah, and just keep being
Yeah.
consistent. I really want to know this. I really want to know that.
Yes, I really, really want to know. I mean it. I need some help here. I want some information. I need to hear it. I want you to Give me some information if this is available to me. If you just say, I would like to be enlightened. Oh, well, that didn't happen. Let's go get pizza. It's not going to happen.
Uh-huh.
It does seem to me that you need to build a certain energy of persistence or sincerity.
Mm-hmm. That makes sense.
Which might mean repeating the same question, I don't know how many times, or maybe sometimes it's only once. But then sometimes there are things that I hadn't asked for per se. I was just thinking about. For me, I think about, gee, it would be good to know how to do this. It would be good to know how to stop cancer in somebody's body. And I'm thinking about this, how would energetically, what would be the best way to do these things? And I'm thinking about all these very different things all the time. It's like the angel that suddenly showed me how to do this heart chakra atomic smudge.
Uh-huh.
I wasn't thinking show me how to do an atomic smudge with my heart chakra. Of course, I wouldn't have known how to do that or even ask about that. I was just had been focusing and thinking about our heart chakra and having light come from our heart chakra. And then this angel started talking to me. So that's why I try to tell people, just start telling them everything. Telling them what you're thinking, telling them what you're wanting. Start thinking towards your angel, thinking about your angel, thinking about what you're wanting to do in terms of healing, enlightenment, knowledge, past lives, protection, health. Make that part of your thought process as you're going through your day.
Mm-hmm.
When you woke up, but you still kept the knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
And that happens to me quite often.
I guess for me, a lot of it, I don't really know what's out there or available to me. And so what I keep asking is just to meet my angels, to just start a form of communication with them. Do you think I'm not being specific enough when I'm like, I would just like to meet my angels?
Yeah, you're not being specific enough, but the other thing is a lot of angels are just light. They're just colored light, and you might see a colored light, and I think you did actually
Uh-huh.
see a colored light, but maybe that wasn't good enough for you. You wanted to see them in an outfit. I mean, if you want them to come looking like Michael Jackson, I guess you need to have it be more specific. But I think you did say that, and one did show up.
Yeah.
So, but you're still not satisfied. You didn't like the way they looked, huh?
Well, again, I think it just goes back to me not really knowing what to expect, and so I don't know what to ask for, or don't know when I'm getting an answer.
Well, that can be tricky, when I was handed all these colors that helped me to do the chakra readings, I at the time I didn't know what it was, and it took several days before I even had a clue. I just went, okay, cool, thanks, bye, um,
Okay, whatever, like throw this in the back
well,
of the
I mean, what are
car.
you supposed to say? I've had different things like that happen many times, and some of them I've never figured out, and others pretty spectacular, and probably I'll figure out the others at some point. So you don't always know. It's, again, there's a translation from their realm to our realm, and that can take some time. And there's also a translation from what's workable in their realm to you making it workable in this realm.
Mm-hmm.
So all of that can take time. 5 years later, 25 years later, whatever.
It sounds like it's more about persistence then, of just keep asking.
Well, if you want to, I mean, if you really want to be, I don't know, for lack of a better word, a powerful psychic, enlightened, a good healer, then an integral part of making that happen is being persistent in practice, in thinking about it, being there mentally,
Mm-hmm.
activities that would involve that reality. I come across a lot of people that say, oh, I really want to be more powerful. And I say, well, what are you doing now? Well, nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well, what do you need more for? To have more or nothing. If you're not meditating and you're not healing and you're not, and you're not doing anything, then I don't see any need for you to have more power.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a person that I spend hours every day thinking about spiritual things. I have all my life.
Mm-hmm.
Now, that maybe not be necessary, but probably at least 1 hour a day. I mean, you could break that up between, while you're munching your croissant in the morning and, while you're biking or whatever. But you need to have some mental engagement with spirituality and with your angelic beings and what your goals are and what you're trying to learn and where you picture yourself going in order to get there.
Yeah.
And then your angels can tune into that and they get a clear picture of what you want. I think sometimes people don't get what they want because they don't have a clear picture of what they want.
Right.
But if you say, when I'm working with somebody, I want them to be able to feel the energy that I'm sending, no matter where they are on this planet, within a certain frame of time. Now they can understand that.
Uh-huh.
So in a way, it comes back to, like with the third chakra, see it, say it, do it. You're still in the material world. You have to work out that side of what you want, even with your angelic beings.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like Harry Potter.
So how do we figure out what's available to us?
Well, it's not a matter of what's available. It's what, because there's tremendous amount available. You figure out what is available to you if you can formulate the question of what you're wanting.
Okay.
I mean, if you're levitating, but you want your levitation to be smoother, then that says something about the level of what's available to you.
Right.
If you know nothing about levitation, then obviously that's not available to you. If you're healing and you want to know how to make your healing felt over longer distances quicker, then because you can formulate the question, gives you an idea of the availability.
Okay.
If there's no question about healing or psychic ability you can formulate, there probably isn't that much available to you at this time.
Okay.
You
So how do
follow
you
what I'm saying?
figure? Yeah, I do. I guess it's just, how do you, like, I want to help people to heal, but you don't have a clear picture of, in the mind, how you're going to do that. Then how do you know, like, what to ask for, or yeah, like, how do you start?
Right. So then you would be asking the question, what is the best healing path for me to find or
Okay.
to take?
Okay.
It's not like I need to be a more powerful healer. I first have to figure out, am I a healer at all, or what healing modality I have to take. And here's the other thing, again, we're in a physical world. So one of the things that I did when I decided to be a healer is that I went and I became a massage therapist and got state licensed, because as part of that program they teach you anatomy, physiology, kinesiology, some psychology. Is a 1,000 hours of basic nursing.
Uh-huh.
And I did that because I thought, well, if I really want to be a healer, I should at least, you need to be able to point to your liver or your kidneys and know where these things are. You need to do some stuff on the physical world to make those steps towards going there.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people, they just say, well, I have energy and I want to be a healer. And then they just want to, I don't know, step into a role or something and expect to have everything work. And sometimes maybe it does, but most of the time it doesn't. And that's because they need to actually have a stronger base.
Uh-huh.
And I'm not talking about like a 2-week shaman course on the internet. I'm talking about some, real basis in knowledge and practice that, build you up. So a lot of the really, really good healers that I know, they've spent some time. I know one person, he became an acupuncturist and then he also became a Chinese doctor. So he spent a lot of time
Mm-hmm. Like learning different methods of healing.
learning different methods, learning about the physical body, learning again, like, anatomy, physiology, uh, pressure points, Chinese herbs, all kinds of things. And he's a fabulous healer.
Uh-huh.
So sometimes people are looking for just the magic pill and they want to say to their angels, just, drop light on me and make me Jesus. But that isn't likely to happen.
Mm-hmm.
You need to decide what you want and how you're going to get it, and your angels will help you. But again, they're not going to make you into Buddha or Jesus overnight because you have the idea that you want to be a healer.
Right.
On the bright side, angels can also sometimes just give you something happy and nice and cheery, just to be light. And like that one time when the angel said to me in a clear voice, like I said, a clear voice, would you like to see a different color? And then suddenly showed me a color that didn't exist on this planet.
Mm-hmm.
Completely caught me by surprise. And then he's just started to laugh. Ha 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 ha. And they can do that too.
Uh-huh.
Or the angel that made a bouquet of flowers out of crystals for somebody's reading, and then for me to look at. And then when I gave the person their reading, they said they had a dream about that.
Oh, cool.
So they can be magical in that way and communicative in that way too. And that's the other advantage of getting into a relationship with them, is that there's that side. So that they're there because they can respond in that way.
I feel like asking to see a different color was like my childhood goal. Like that was one of the things that I asked for the most. It's like I would just love to see what a different color looks like.
Well, I was just expecting a blue or a green or green. I was not expecting that at all. So completely caught me off guard. Ultimately, your angels care for you. They are listening to you. They will respond as much as they can, as timely as they can. And the more you chat with them, the clearer the message you give them, the more likely you are to wind up with what you want.
Yeah. Okay.
Ask them for everything. Who wants a board angel?
Who wants a board angels? Keep your angels flapping. And be specific.
Yes. It be exacting. I want this. I want to know how to make my chakras change color while I'm toning.
Okay.
There you go.
All right. Well, you've certainly given me a lot more to think about.
Hopefully it's helpful. Hopefully somebody will understand, some of those people out there will understand a little bit more about this, because I keep having this conversation over and over again.
I mean, even me, I'm like, I've been doing it all wrong again.
No, you're not doing it all wrong. There's no all wrong. There's just learning.
Okay. Baby steps.
There you go. If anybody has questions for us, about anything except how to talk to their angels.
No, even if you have questions about how to talk to your angels, send us a message, send us a voice message. There's a link at the bottom of the podcast description, and we will dive more into sound, color, and light next week. Stay tuned.